So to start today's talk, so it's on use of ICT in teaching and testing of languages, and I will also be talking about how do we use social media platforms in education and specifically in teaching languages. Um, any guesses as to what is ICT? Please, anybody can tell me. Anyone? I just wanted to be more interactive. So
It is, ma'am,
yes,
information and communicate,
yes, information and
information and communication
Information
technology.
communication technology.
yes.
Information and communication technology.
Yes, yes. So it's nothing new that we all are using it in our daily lives, and it's something that we are using right now. Also, you're hearing me, and I'm giving this talk, so it's also a part of ICT. We are using certain applications and to learn from more from each other. So today's presentation is like this. So first, more topic I introduce Koribi. Tapre, I'll be talking about some common ICT applications that I may use koru daily life. And then I'll be talking about why ICT specifically in language educations and kichi ICT initiatives which are done by Government of India and specifically with respect to Odia language. I'll be talking about them. And then how can we use it in our everyday lessons? How is it going to be useful for you? Integrating ICT into the teaching learning process. And finally, I'll be giving a brief glimpse into how do we use the social media that we use every day in our lives to communicate with each other, to friends, family, colleagues, and each other. How do we use that in education, specifically language education? And finally, I'll be talking about some of the challenges and conclude the presentation. So I'm going to start with a quote through, which is with the help of technology, teachers will be leaders in the transformation of education around the world. This is by Craig R. Barrett. So basically this whole presentation is going to be about how with the help of technology and with the help of different initiatives, how can we make our education more interesting to the teachers, to the students, and more informative for the teachers as well, and how can we better the system. So to start with today's topic, introduction, ICT, like as you said, ICT is information and communication technology. This is what national policy on ICT in school education defines it as, which is ICTs are defined as all devices, tools, content, resources, forums, and services, digital, and those that can be converted or delivered through digital forms, which can be deployed for realizing the goals of teaching, learning, enhancing access to and reach of resources, building of capacities, as well as management of the educational system. This is a very heavy duty definition of ICT. I will give something which is very simple. Basically, it is any sort of technology that you can use to better your teaching process, or it is better for the students to learn, to enhance their learning process. It can be something very simple like a computer that you're using right now to communicate, to see this presentation or hear this talk, to using something like WhatsApp, which is something that we all use आज के date में, and to more complex things like different portals, like for example National Digital Library. Then you have interactive whiteboards using podcasts and so on and so forth. So why do we use ICT in this education field? So as we all know, this is an age of technology, and if we use ICT, it's more convenient and it becomes easier for us to like exchange our thoughts and ideas and so on. Second point is a lot of persons can get trained at a low cost. So in other words, what I would like to say here is that the reach also becomes very wide. Like for example, this talk, or for example any webinar that you might have attended, it's like one talk, otherwise you'd have to be physically present there to hear the talk. But using today's technology, using Google Meet, and so on, and Zoom and others, you can have access to a lot of content today. And most importantly, in today's day when the COVID-19 pandemic is raging, ICT becomes very important when we want to continue the process of teaching, and also for the students to continue their medium of learning, as I'm sure you all must have done and will continue doing also. So you must have used all Google, different types of like ebooks, or for example Google Drive or Zoom or any other such things, uh, to continue your teaching process. So all this come under the purview of ICT. So next is what some common ICT applications that some we might have used, and some you might not have used in your teaching process. So can someone tell me, like, is there anything that you have not used from these lists that you can see on your screen? ଆପଣମାନେ କ'ଣ use କରିଛନ୍ତି? Any particular, I'm sure computer, mobiles,
Mobile
Google
laptop.
Meet
Computer, mobile laptop.
mobile
Mobile
laptop.
radio,
laptop.
No, ma'am.
no radio,
No, ma'am.
virtual classroom.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Radio also.
So I will talk about some of the things now. So first, importantly, I'll start with computer, laptop, that हम समझते जानू. So this is one of the most important tools of ICT, and computer data store होए पारे, and then you can prepare data. You can use computer to do anything practically, to make, starting from एक lesson बनाने से एक lesson पढ़ाने तक, everything you can do using computers. So, and this makes our life much easier. And another thing is the mobile, like, which is not present here in the list, but then of course every time if we don't have an access to a computer, we also use mobiles to take classes and so on. Then you have radio. Yes, at times there are certain Government of India initiatives whereby certain educational programs which teachers have recorded and they are played, and in remote areas and in far-flung areas, students who do not have access to computers or internet connectivity is bad, their students can benefit from hearing these sort of educational programs that are aired. Next is interactive whiteboard. So it's a new application. So this is basically this is nothing but this is like a whiteboard which is present in the classroom, and it is connected to computers and certain audio devices, and you can use it to, like, show video, show audio, or even write on it. Like, that's one of the things that you can use. Then there is internet, of course. I don't need to say much about internet. We all are, right now also we all are using internet. Then you have projector, which is basically you can overhead projectors that a lot of us use also, maybe to project whatever what is there in the laptop onto a big screen when you have like a huge classroom or a huge number of students. So that is one thing. Then you have I'll pick podcast. Okay, so podcast is basically like you have audio or video clips. Suppose you have a educational website, so वहाँ पे you have like audio or video clips which are like small audio clips and video clips, and those are like sort of podcasts that you can make and upload, or are present there in certain educational websites that and they contain different sort of educational contents. Then you have ebooks, where which is basically the online form of the books that students learn from, or the books that you teach from. So these are some of then of course you have more also out, like you have blogs. Blogs are like journal entries, just that they are online. So what you can do using blogs is, like, suppose you want to teach a class and a certain subject, say topic A, and what you can do is, you can keep them, you can date number them. Say for example today's class, you can, put the date, and you can write a journal entry, some content that you want to teach. And then that is there for, like, students can access it at their own pace. ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी पढ़ा दिया, so they will not get access to it later. So that is something that a lot of people do today, and especially there in the scene of COVID-19. And e-learning, again, it's about how we use audio and video clips to teach language. So now these are like some of the very common ICT applications that I'm sure you also know about. I just sort of uh, reiterated them. And like one more also, there is feature film. So feature film is something that is very interesting to me, because I think when it comes to language learning, students, of course, they don't want to read books, or they don't want to read like sort of articles or newspapers. That's very boring for them. But watching a film is something, or documentary feature film is something that everybody loves. So you can also use feature films to rouse students' interests. And I personally think when it comes to language learning, students learn a lot when they see, when they hear somebody else speaking, and they hear dialogues and so on and so forth. So now I'll talk about some ICT initiatives that are taken by Government of India, and how you can use them, and of course certain specific to Odia language as well. But before that, I will also like to talk about why do we need to use ICT specifically with respect to language education. So ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଯେଟା ଆମେ କରିପାରିବା, that is audio visual sessions, like ଆମେ audio visual sessions use କରିପାରିବା, that makes a classroom more interesting and lively. ଆପଣମାନେ focus ଦେଇପାରିବେ pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, spellings, which are very difficult for students to understand. And this can help students also to pick up more speaking and listening skills. You can basically slowly pronounce a particular word or a particular pronunciation that you want the students to learn, and make them hear it again and again. The same goes for like certain visual things also. And you can also assess their speaking and listening skills using audiovisual clips and sessions that you have maybe recorded. Next is आप लोग use कर सकते हैं e-library, e-journals, e-research papers, and so on and so forth, which can be given as like as learning material to students. मैं बताऊंगी आप लोगों को कुछ e-library, e-journals and resources के बारे में in the next slides. And like I said, I'm sure like right now also we are doing this webinar in a virtual mode. You must have taken your classes in a virtual mode as well. So distance learning, or learning through in today's world, learning through Google Meet, Zoom, and so on, using such platforms, virtual classroom, I would say that. So that is possible using ICT. And then of course there are certain portals which I will talk about in the next slides, where you can assign students some homework or some task or something, and they are supposed to do it within a certain time frame. Then of course ICT tools are very useful for children with special needs or who have some learning difficulties. And what this leads to is it leads to development of analytical skills and improvement in reading comprehension in students. Next, as I said in 2 slides back, some technologies like interactive whiteboards, then you have conferencing, then giving them e-material or taking e-assessments, that makes the teaching learning process like more lively and probably more effective as well. And like again, students can have access to online courses whenever they want. Suppose, for example, they're doing solving certain problems and they encounter some difficulty, so they can go back to that module or uh, clip or video clip or audio clip that has been uploaded by you, and they can again, solve their issues. And certain, you can also assign some group tasks using certain portals and certain applications, and that will help students to develop team skills as well. So let us now understand certain ICT initiatives. So have you guys heard of this NDLI? Anyone? I'm sure किसी ने use किया है.
Yes, ma'am, it is there.
Yes. So it is something that I have also used. So this is an initiative by by Government of India. This is a National Digital Library of India. The link I have provided where you can access it. So as you can see from here, so there is school materials available on schools, then there is CBSE exam preparatory thing, and of course you have it by the subject also, like for example engineering, science, humanities, literature, law and management. So there are different tiers, and this picture is not complete, but you have, like, you can see your documents, then journals we have, there are data sets, so these are some of them. So what you can do here is, one of the easiest thing that you can use, how to use this portal, is that you can search for a particular item. Say for example, search for like class 3 Odia literature, or anything, mathematics or science or anything, and you can, this on this side of the ye, there is option to basically refine it by subject, like for example Sahitya, or for example author, or educational level, that is class 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So this is one of the most important initiative that was taken by Government of India. Next is next initiative that I'll be talking about is the Diksha Portal. So Diksha is basically a digital infrastructure for school education. Again, the link I have shared here. So basically is a national so again, like NDLI, this is again a portal, and this is available in 18 plus languages, and you have an app also for this. So what this does is I'll just show the next slide. So what all a teacher can do, so you have like teacher and leadership training programs, and you have notifications of the programs. There are already certain lesson plans and teacher tools that are present there, and of course if I just go back, there is this option, right? Contribute. Here you can get the app, and here you can contribute. So if you go to the contribute portion, you can also, if you want to share your lesson plan, you can share your lesson plan or certain tools that you have developed, you can do that. You can the next is explanation content. So there's a lot of content like available there on a particular topic. Say for example grammar. So grammar pe there is a lot of topic, for example, and of course on all these bullet points or all these things, you can upload again your own content that you might have developed, which includes basically audio, video. You can even upload your practice tests, or any sort of self-assessment test for the student, or anything that if you have been using. Then there are of course practice and homework, quizzes, tests, and so on. There is question banks and exam preparation, which I think you must have seen here. Oh, no, that hasn't come, sorry. But and then you have of course assessment tools and quizzes. So this is and like I said, this is available in 18 plus languages. So I'll just show you one screenshot of what I searched for example. You have, this is what I have searched for. Odia search quickly. For example, These are like, you can see Odia language. There are 2 books I searched for class 3. And you can see Amo Bhasa, Amo Sahitya, medium Odia, and this is Odisha. So I have searched it by language, then by class, and then by subject, which is Sahitya. So you can, of course, change it to grammar or language or anything that you wish to. And you can see here there are digital textbooks, there is courses, there's TV classes also. So all in all, Diksha is something that is not just available for you to take from it, as in the sense that you can get your content, get your quizzes, and then of course, use it in your own lesson plans or your own teaching methods. But you can also provide feedback. There's a thing to provide feedback here. Then of course there's this Ask Tara. There's like a chat bot. If you have like some simple queries, you can ask that. So that is this chatbot is this thing, Ask Tara. And so this is something that you can not only learn from, but also you can contribute to. So yeah, the next one is curricular for ICT in education. This is again a Government of India initiatives. The link is provided here. So this is possible that not all of us know how to how to develop ICT content or how to go about it. Like, we might not have the clue. We just, because this is again a new thing, and I think most of us have been using it more in the context of COVID-19. So this is a portal whereby you can basically no, like I can show you. So basically, subject specific tools, translating, troubleshooting, data analysis, ICT for teaching and learning. So this is like a portal with a lot of resources under it, where if you go to this ICT curricula, so basically what it teaches you is how to build a ICT tool, or how to build a ICT, say, lesson or a curriculum, and so on and so forth. Under courses for teachers, you can see all of that. And again, it's not just for teachers, it's also for students. There are certain already existing lesson plans, and already existing content and practices and quizzes and so on. Resources के अंदर भी बहुत कुछ ऐसे आता है, आप देख सकते हैं इसके अंदर भी, like बहुत सारे, like even already codes are also given there if you want to use something for making a particular application or lesson plan or so on and so forth. Like, for example, troubleshooting. If you run into programs, there are forums also where you can go and see if somebody has asked ki ye kaise, like how to solve this problem. So these are some of the things. And again, here you can provide feedback also. And yeah, so this is again one of the portals of Government of India. The next is School Bhuvan. And one more thing. So here, when I talk about resources, you can also connect with certain people who are like experts in the field. So that is also present here. Next is School Bhuvan. So here again, it's a Government of India initiative. So this makes students aware about country's natural resources, environment, and sustainable development. As you can, understand from, it's a self-explanatory thing. So you can just go to level 1, 2, 3. There's like a map view is present there. Then there's Bhuvan 3D maps are also present there. So this is one of the another things that is there for students. Now, with respect to Orissa, there are certain specific things that I would like to talk about. The first is the Orissa Shiksha Sanjog. Is anyone a part of this? Any of you? The app is also there. Orisa Shiksha Sanjog app is also there. None of you use this?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, so you can use this. So this is a app, and इसमें आपने यूज कोई पाते एटा को students for students you can use it to um, like upload lesson plans and upload different sort of assessments, worksheets. There are already worksheets existing, poems, stories, so on and so forth, like a lot of things you can use. And basically what government of Odisha has done in this years, um, in this particular initiative, is there are certain, so if you go to, I don't have the screenshot of this app, but if you go to this app actually, you can already see whether your school is a part of it or not. It's a hierarchical structure. Like for example, there are 10 schools, suppose, in a particular district, say Balasore or Keonjhar or Puri or Khurda or anywhere. So you can see the number of schools which are part of it, and there are different types of WhatsApp group. It starts, if I tell it from the top, the headmaster creates one group which has all the teachers in the group, and they discuss certain teaching strategies and so on. Then each teacher among them, like for example, say history teachers or grammar teachers or language teachers of each of the school, they have a particular, for different classes, 1 2 3 4, like that, they have one particular WhatsApp group. Then again, when it comes to in a particular class, say standard 7 or 8, the class teacher has one group with the other teachers of that particular class. And then individually those particular uh, the subject teachers, they have a group with the students, which is like a class group. I will just explain in next few slides, like how can you use WhatsApp also to uh, share your I mean, to facilitate your teaching process. So like this says, this app is very user friendly and user to and easy to use, and the main features of this app is to facilitate the learning outcomes and fulfill minimum learning of students. There are so many tools, and there are worksheets, then are warm-up activities, games, poems, so on and so forth. um, uh, what uh, what else is there? So there is written explanations are there in that app for, say for example, a particular topic, say for example a particular topic of grammar or particular pronunciation or something like that. Then there is video explanations, audio clips. Also because there are this happens across schools, like for example there are 10 schools in a district, so they can also share content with each other. Worksheets are shared. And then in this particular app, uh, teachers also, there's a particular time when they remain online, so that they can even students use this app, so they can solve doubts of students. And then there is, like, you are supposed to provide an answer key also, which will facilitate, like you have provided a quiz or say certain test or something like that. And so it will, you can provide a answer key so that the student can do some sort of self assessment as well. The next I'll be talking about is e-Vidyalay. Uh, this is also, a sort of government of India initiative, and this is also present in certain schools in Orissa. So, like the curriculum, ICT curriculum, which I talked about, like this one. This is again a sort of pooling of resources, as in सारा resource एक ही portal में है. So for example, you have e-books, you have feedback systems, you have newsletters, and there is an app for this as well. So for, if you do not have access to laptop or computer, you can use this in your mobile as well. Even this Orisa Shiksha Sanjog, this also you have an app. So if we go to here, schools, again here also you can see the schools that are a part of this e-Vidyalay initiative. What are the progress has been done, what monitoring, how it is done. Then you have downloads as well. So you can download certain contents, and inside this learning zone, if you click on it, this is the link for this e-Vidyalay. So you can have like you have like stories, workbooks, you have poems and so on and so forth. And ये class level भी है, जैसे for example class 6, 7, 8, 9 ऐसे कर करके अलग अलग classes के लिए भी है. So these are some of the main initiative for ICT that are done by Government of India, and also specifically for Odia language and Odisha. But there are some other initiatives, equally good initiatives as well. The first is telecast of video lessons using Doordarshan. And the second is, which I would like to talk about, is Madhu app. This is very interesting because I think it will be interesting for you all as language teachers also, because it's an e-learning app which is in your mother tongue, in the sense that it's specifically for Odia language, and they provide virtual classroom experiences in Odia. And you have again, like other apps, what is similar is you have video lessons, and you have certain self-assessment tools, and of course teachers can contribute in all these sort of portals and apps as and when possible. Next is e-class. Ita ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ କହିବାକୁ ଦରକାର ହବନି, because I'm sure you can understand e-class through Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meet. ସମସ୍ତେ use କରନ୍ତି ଏଟା Google Meet, which we are using right now also. Next, what I would like to introduce is Orisa Education Resource Portal, or OERP. So यहाँ पे भी बहुत सारे मतलब टीचिंग एड्स हैं, एंड सैम्पल पेपर्स हैं यहाँ पे बहुत सारे फॉर डिफरेंट क्लासेस, एंड then you have student teacher discussion forum. Suppose for example you can also create your own forum there, like for example you want to create for your own class for a particular topic, you want to create a discussion. So even students can access this portal, and even teachers can. I think there's a login there. And you have a collection of videos on different subjects, again different topics, different classes. Then you have, what is interesting here is you have certain educational games for skill development, and there's also an option of career counseling for students. So this is again another thing. Then you have Saransh, which is launched by CBSE, and it's this particular app, that is Saransh, is it's not just for students and teachers, but it's also for parents. Basically इसमें it's like schools can review. So if there are like 10 schools, this is a part of a lot of like Navodaya Vidyalayas and all also. So you have so schools can view their performance with respect to other schools. Say for example, school A in district say Balasore compared to school B in district Bhadrak, say for example. So you can compare your performance, how it is there, and performance जो दिखता है, that is in terms of very interactive modules, जैसे graphs, charts, ये सब के through दिखाते हैं ये. And then how teachers can log in is that the school headmaster can log in using this, and of course they can provide login and ID to each teachers, and even parents and students can log in using their like roll number or registration number or whatever it is in respective schools, and a password. And यहाँ पे parents भी देख सकते हैं अपने student, अपने मतलब बच्चे का progress. And this is basically available for I think 9, 10, 11 and 12. So that is one thing. And apart from Saransh, another initiative that has been that is a part of actually the education policy of Odisha government is providing ICT labs in different all government schools at least. So here, as a part of ICT lab, they provide laptops, the computers, they provide projectors, some audio visual equipment else as well. So so till now we have been talking about ICT initiatives. But now we'd also like to talk about how these are like what I told you is about ICT applications, what you can use to make your teaching process, or what is better for the students to make their learning process better. But how will you actually integrate it into your particular topic or class that you are teaching? So ଆପଣମାନେ যেটা କରିପାରିବେ that is ଆପଣମାନେ a particular topic ର কিছু portion that is you can use, you can teach as like a classroom, top classroom thing, what you think can be taught in the classroom, but then what can also be taught using ICT tools, you can integrate that portion into the ICT. What schools can do is there can be a separate timetable for each year, for classes of each class by each individual teacher. ऑनलाइन एजुकेशनल वेबसाइट्स एंड पोर्टल्स के बारे में ट्रेनिंग मिल सकता है, बताया जा सकता है. Then of course teachers can record audio clips of their lessons and make it available to students so that unka listening skills can be enhanced. Then is interesting videos on grammar or other topics can be shown online also to enhance the communication skills. Like I said earlier, also you can also show feature films or short children movies or etc. And then students can be asked to prepare or record their own dialogue or make a small skit or role play on any subject in Odia so that they can, you know, generate an interest in learning the language. And then self-prepared e-lessons can also be used by the teachers so as to, you know, alongside their traditional method of teaching, so that, you know, it is blended into the traditional method of teaching to enhance ICT in the education process. So so far and so forth, I have been talking about ICT processes, which is and initiatives. Some you might be familiar with, some you might not be familiar with. But what I'm going to talk next, I am sure all of us know about it. So my next topic was on social media only. Suppose for example आप मैं इसमें से कुछ उठाती हूँ, जैसे कि YouTube, ठीक है. तो आपको अगर आप बताइए एक टॉपिक जिसमें आप
मैं बता रही हूँ. मैं एक टॉपिक लिया, वो था मेरा, वो टॉपिक था मैंने 6th क्लास की. वो टॉपिक का नाम था फूला. That the full of the flower. I have taken this teaching in my annual जो report जो है होता है ना, जो teaching experience, उसमें मैंने दिखाया. जब इंस्पेक्शन में, तो मैंने फूलों जो वो ओडिया का जो लेसन बनाया, उसका कवि का नाम दिया पंडित मृत्युंजय रथ. उसको लेके मैं स्लाइड बनाई. कुछ स्लाइड बनाई.
ओडिया में भी बोल सकते हैं.
ओडिया को स्लाइड कली मु पंडित मृत्युंजय रथଙ୍କ ଉପରେ स्लाइड कली 5-6ଟା ना 10ଟା स्लाइड ହେଲା ତାଙ୍କ ଉପରେ, ତାଙ୍କ ଜୀବନୀ, ତାଙ୍କ ପିତାଙ୍କ ନାମ, ତାଙ୍କ ମାତାଙ୍କ ନାମ, ତାଙ୍କ ଲେଖା, ତାଙ୍କ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ କରିଲା ପରେ ମୁଁ ତାପରେ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ଲାइड ନେଲି ସେଇ जो वीडियो रू यूट्यूब रू से ଗୋଟେ गीत गाइबार जो फूल कविता मो बास गछरे लटा बुदारे बड़ा रिदमिकली मु ताको नेली. नेला परे मोर कहया कथा आमे जतले अप्लाई करछु केते केबे केबे हमर टेक्निकल हैंड हेई परनी.
Archana madam, I want to say something. I am Dr. Pankaj Dwivedi, program coordinator. You need not worry about that. This section has been divided into 2 parts. So on the 3rd day, there is a topic called natural language processing, and which will be conducted after this. And the practical application of all of this, you know, will be talked about in there.
Practical application.
Yeah, practical application is one. We have given one complete session about it, right? Complete session about it, right? So like how, like what kind of fonts you should use, how to develop the digital materials, how to transfer it to students. So this program is actually a blend of theory and practice both. Some teachers will cover the theory, others will cover the practical. In the second lecture, we will not be talking about these theories. We will directly come into the practice. Come into the practice. So here you have to learn the theories, and there you will learn the practical. Don't worry, we have a complete session on it, and that session will run for almost 2 hours. Yeah, don't worry about that. ठीक है ना? Learn the theory and then we'll come back to the practical, right? We have a complete session for it. है ना? Yeah, complete session on it. Yes, Dr. Shikha, will you please continue? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah, thank you.
But yeah, but I would just to answer a question, आप Audacity software भी use कर सकते हैं YouTube videos को काटने के लिए, या like just to certain portion if you want to use, just if that is your question. But to continue, another part was the use of social media in education. So I'm sure अपन समझते use करती Tumblr, LinkedIn, Facebook तो समझते use करती, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, blogs, and all of that. Now I will talk about how you can use some of these applications in which will help you in your teaching learning process. So before that, I would also like to talk about what are the different types of social media. So when we talk about social media, usually we talk about Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, that way. So फर्स्ट है सोशल नेटवर्किंग साइट्स जो फेसबुक है, लिंक्डइन है, फिर आप गूगल डॉक्स यूज करते हैं जिसमें आप अपने जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल जो मैडम बात करी थी, उन्होंने एक प्रेजेंटेशन बनाया, तो प्रेजेंटेशन आप स्टोर कर सकते हैं और लोगों के साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं विद योर स्टूडेंट्स, विद कोलीग्स, विद अदर टीचर्स एंड सो ऑन. Then you have Twitter, which is microblogging. मैं उसके बारे में बात करूंगी नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में. फिर आप ब्लॉग्स लिख सकते हैं, जो मैंने पहले भी बताया, उसका वन ऑफ द साइट्स इज वर्डप्रेस, जो आप यूज कर सकते हैं. Then you have YouTube, which all of us use, which is you can use you can share media content, that is videos, and then you can use Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet like now you are using. And of course, we have other learning platforms as well, like for example, Coursera. This is just one example. You have many others. So, so this is one of the. These are some of the types of social media. Now we'll talk about how we can use some of this social media to, engage in teaching learning process. So, for example, सबसे पहले I will talk about Facebook, which I think most of us have accounts on. So what you can do is you can also add your students as friends, and you can you can also create a page. Say for example, you want to create a page for class 7 Sahitya, or class 7 maths, or anything like that, and you can post regular updates for that ki class kab hone wala hai kya nahi, and including, that's just one thing. You can of course post for certain lessons that you want the students to read. You want them to do certain homework assignments, so you can post about that also. You can of course you can start the discussion on a topic, and then they can go on and comment and so on. And latest, you can also use Facebook to stream your live lectures. Then we have Twitter. So Twitter में usually आप लोग देखेंगे कि there's a lot of discussion that happens if you follow some of the accounts, especially those political accounts. So you can, but how you can use Twitter is you can use it as a discussion board. Say for example, you want to talk about I will just take the example that she said, Fuller, and she wants to talk about a particular author, particular essay, kuch bhi, particular poem, or particular say person in Odia. Let's talk about Gopabandhu Das, for example. So you can just use it like a hashtag, and you can talk, and you can ask your students to say, for example, post what they know about it, or any sort of discussion. Next, you can also use it for posting reminders for assignments and their due dates and so on. You can again share some motivational material or inspirational material, or even learning material. And you can also have share certain helpful links for quizzes, for practice sessions, and so on and so forth. आप क्लास ब्लॉग भी बना सकते हैं, क्लास ब्लॉग बना के using WordPress, say for example, and you can post certain learning materials, and even you can initiate discussions and so on. And this will also, you can also actually, what you can do is you can ask your students to write certain blog posts अगर आप उनका writing skills check करना चाहते हैं, तो that is also one of the things that is done. Then Pinterest board. Okay, so Pinterest is mostly जहाँ पे pictures use होता है. So आप कुछ visual, if you want to show them to, maybe for example, let's take difficult words. You want them to teach certain difficult words. You can create a Pinterest board using different using those difficult or abstract concepts, and that will help them to learn and make it more interesting as well. Similarly, you can use also Instagram. Instagram is again a picture and video sharing app. So you can also use that and ask students to create, say for example, a collage on certain, or a storyboard, picture storyboard on certain topic. Like for example, whatever you have assigned them as assignments. So that is also again a very interesting way of using social media to engage in the teaching learning processes. And finally, you have lesson and tutorial videos, which either you can use जो पहले से है, नहीं तो आपण माने करि परंती निजर lesson and tutorial videos, lesson plans, particular topic re videos or anything or as such. So you can do that also. So these are some of the very everyday things that we probably use for not classroom use, but we use it like to communicate. But these are some of the ways in which you can use social media in your classrooms as well. Why do we use this? Like why do we use something like WhatsApp? Also, I do not say it, but you can also again use WhatsApp to create groups with your students, and you can again post about certain links or certain doubts they can ask you. Even in fact, peer learning can also happen. Suppose they ask certain doubts in a group, other student might also reply to that, if not you. So those are some of the things that can be done. So yeah, this helps to improve reading and communication skill among students. And for example, Facebook, Twitter, or blogs, you can also make parents involved in the process. And yeah, so that is one thing. Again, learning from a distance. So yes, this, like I said, in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, it's the most, I think, exemplification of use of ICT or use of social media or any such technology. So we all are doing virtual learning, virtual teaching and everything. And yeah, it encourages online learning among students, and also helps teachers to develop their skill set. So before I in my presentation, I would like to say certain things that ICT has, yes, definitely, it has brought about a revolution in the teaching learning process by blending newer methods, like what I told you in the course of last half an hour or so, with that of traditional methods that all of us have been using for so long. And specifically in the current pandemic situation, this is a boon actually, where we can still engage in all sorts of academic activities and teaching and students learning process without hampering it. However, every coin has two sides. So similarly, yeah, use of ICT in education and special language education has its has its limitations as well. The first being that it is very much possible that there is lack of resources. Lack of resources can range from anything, from paucity of funds by the administration, to non-availability of computers or certain aids, or particular, or even the non-availability of a particular of a space, like I mean to say a classroom or something, for recording those videos or recording those audio clips and so on. Then again, limited training, which is we might not know about certain portals or certain applications that we can use to enhance our teaching process. Next, again, is technical issues. Now, technical issues can range from our non-awareness to something like internet connectivity as well. And then finally, we have something like administrative challenges that come up, something that are probably beyond our individual efforts, but need to be addressed as a whole, which is like ranging from because you need to buy certain ICT tool materials and applications. So yeah, there's a paucity of funds, or there are many other administrative challenges that take place. However, to we all face all these challenges, but I think we should all continue using ICT applications and make our teaching and learning process a much more enjoyable process. So this is for today. Any questions, any comments, any suggestions are more than welcome. Please go on. So yeah, thank you.
So much. Dr. Sanjay, shall we please proceed? Yeah.
आज अधिवेशन बर्तमान रखुचु आज आमर टीचिंग लर्निंग टेस्टिंग एंड इवैल्यूएशन मैनेजिंग क्लासरूम आईसीटी लर्निंग एंड टेस्टिंग ऑफ लैंग्वेज ऊपर 3टा लेक्चर है आउ काली आउ थे आपण मान सहित देखा हेबो 10:30 रे आपण माने आसंदो समस्त को धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shikha, for taking out time from your busy schedule, and it has been very nice to hear you.
Thank you, madam.